All right, so we're steadily moving along in our Google Drawings unit. And with this unit, we are going to be creating a greeting card. So we're going to use something called a polyline tool to create a greeting card cover. And you can see what our greeting card example is going to be. It's just going to be these 3 letters. I'll talk more about that in a moment. I'm not going to read the overview for you, but I do want you to note the new skills, which are to create a custom page size, use that polyline tool, use undo, which we kind of already know how to do, so that's sort of more review, and then edit a shape outline. So this is what our greeting card is going to look like. And again, you're going to get to choose your colors that you decide to use, your borders and all of that, but we'll be doing these 3 shapes. And then the other thing that's really important for you to notice is that we're going to be downloading our drawing as a JPEG this time, and that's super important. And you'll see the only file types that are going to be accepted are JPEG or JPEG. So let's get started. Obviously, we're going to limit our screen so that we can see both this tutorial as well as our drawing. I've already in my drawings folder in my CAD folder created lesson 6.3. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I've named it Caleb Norris lesson 6.3. So please go ahead and pause this tutorial, create a new drawing in your My Drawings folder, and be sure to label it as the instructions tell you to, and return to this tutorial when you are done. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to use a custom page size. So if I go to File and then Page Setup, and we're going to do a custom size. So if I click the drop down menu and go to custom, okay, you see here that we have our options to change the width and the height. Now, most of the time we're going to use inches, but sometimes, like when you're trying to create something for a specific file, you might want to instead look at the pixels, how much pixel space it's going to take up. But again, for today, we're just going to use the inches. And we're going to change this to 4 as our width and 6 as our height. So 4 by 6, okay? And so once you do that, then click apply. And you'll see that it's now thinner but longer. All right. Now, there's not much that I'm going to show you today. A lot of it is going to be using your own creativity to create this assignment. We're going to be using the polyline tool. So in my lines section, you'll see it's the second one from the bottom. So everybody that's watching this, go ahead and click on that. And what I want you to do is first watch me kind of fiddle around with it. Don't start automatically into the greeting card because there are things that I need to show you. But you'll see if I click and then let go, and the line continues, and then let go. Every time I do this, I'm going to click it, click, click. And then once I get up to the starting point again, it will fill it in for me. And then I can use my fill and my line to make changes. Okay, now let's say, for example, I want to make it bigger, my shape. Now, first of all, before I do anything, because it's still in that polyline stage or that polyline instruction, I want to go back to select. And now my option to do things like resize it is available to me. So I can resize it using this. I can resize it this. Okay, now let's say, for example, I don't want this curve that deep. If I double click, now these little point dots show up, okay, these purple point dots. So if I move them around, it will change the structure of my shape. Okay, so what I want you to do before you get started on this is I want you to spend some time fiddling around, just kind of playing around and exploring how to use this polyline tool. And then when you're done and ready to actually complete the task, I can undo everything. like that, using my undo button, or if I want to get rid of the shape altogether, I can click on it and then hit delete. So again, we're using our polyline tool. Polyline, not quite yet because I do still have a couple instructions to give you. Just kind of fiddle around with it, play with it, see how it works. See, it's not going to, if I do that, it's not going to, it's treating that as one shape, and this was its own. So I'm going to undo that, undo that. And then when I need to do something like if I were to make this shape and then I want to make changes to it, I need to hit the select tool and then I can make it bigger, double click, and then I can fill around with these point lines. Okay. So again, spend some time with this before you actually get started. You are going to create I, heart, you. Okay. Similar to how this is. Obviously, if it's a perfect I and a perfect heart and a perfect you, then I'm going to assume that you just used a text box to create them. So don't do that. Actually practice using the polyline tool. You can color it in any way you like. It doesn't have to be green, red, and blue. It can be anything that you'd like in terms of fill and line color. When you are done, it's incredibly important, again, that you download this as a JPEG. Now, the difference between a JPEG and what we've done in the last two lessons, we changed the background color. We're not going to do that this time, but when we download this as a JPEG, it's going to automatically make it a white background. Okay, so automatically when you download something as a JPEG, it automatically makes it a white background. And again, we've been changing the color of our background. We're not doing that this time. Instead, we're just going to download it as a JPEG and submit that, and it will make it a white background automatically. Okay, so that's all I have to show you for this lesson. You're going to go ahead and show me what you've learned by creating this greeting card. When you are done, finally, again, make sure that you submit it as a JPEG. Otherwise, it will not accept any other file.